Hello and welcome back to our channel with a new video. Today we will discuss all you need to know about the pros and cons of homeschooling. So without further ado, let's start with today's video. Choosing to homeschool your children is not a new concept. But during the coronavirus pandemic, the phrase school choice acquired a whole new meaning as more and more parents sought homeschooling as a solution for their families. To curb the spread of the virus, school districts around the country offered a variety of educational possibilities, from in-person school with masks to full online school to a delayed start to the academic year to a hybrid model that offered some days in a physical classroom and other days virtually. Even when things begin to open back up and return to normal, some institutions continue to provide a virtual option. And since younger kids are still unable to obtain the vaccine, some families feel uneasy about sending their kids back to brick-and-mortar institutions. If you're thinking of teaching your child at home for the first time, or you've always considered this option for your family, you certainly know there are numerous benefits and downsides. We've pulled up a list of frequent perks and drawbacks you may encounter, with advice from real-world homeschooling parents. As you assess your decision, give some thought to how each of these might affect your circumstance, and believe that whatever decision you make will be the best one for your family. Let us first examine why people choose to teach their children. 1. Isolation. Some parents homeschool their children out of pure necessity. They reside in a remote or secluded place, too far from a school for the youngster to attend. These children may live on distant cattle stations, off-grid cottages, or spend their lives perpetually on the road. While some of these families may have access to distance education or school of the air, others may not, while some families may choose to reject this option. 2. Religion. Families who have a solid religious belief system may not find adequate religious education in mainstream schools or schools close to their home, and subsequently choose to keep their child at home, where they can be sure that the child will receive the religious instruction the parents desire, away from other negative influences. Conversely, some parents choose not to send their children to school because there is too much religious instruction. 3. Lack of confidence. Many parents simply do not have any confidence in the mainstream school system. They believe that it cannot provide their child with the education they deserve. The parents themselves can more effectively prepare their children for academic success and success in life itself. 4. Special needs. Children with special needs can find themselves struggling at schools that do not have the required resources or expertise to meet the needs of that child. Parents who are dissatisfied with the services offered to their children may withdraw them from conventional schools and decide to educate the child themselves. When exploring the pros and cons of homeschooling, it is necessary to analyze its effect on the child and the parents. We will start by focusing on the child. 1. Academic performance. In-depth studies on the comparative academic performance of homeschooled students and mainstream students are limited. Still, the studies that have been completed indicate that homeschooled children perform well in academic tests and exams. Experts point to the one-on-one teaching method as one reason for the results, and contrast this with the traditional schooling setting of a class with about 30 other students, all competing for the teacher's attention and assistance. As hard as teachers try, it is tough to provide individual instruction daily to 30 students in one class. 2. Flexibility. Another reason for the positive academic results may be the greater flexibility in learning available to homeschooled students. Parents can adapt the curriculum to suit the needs of their children. That is a significant advantage, and flexible learning programs are a goal of most schools, although, in reality, they can be hard to implement. When educated at home, a child can be taught in a style that suits their personality and preferred learning style. For example, children can be auditory learners, tactile learners, or visual learners. Some students are quite happy to be told once how to complete a task, attempt it immediately in front of the teacher, and receive immediate feedback. In contrast, others prefer to take the responsibility or skill away, work on it in their own space, and come back and demonstrate their mastery at another time. Parents can determine their child's learning style/s and adapt lessons accordingly, without having to cater to the learning styles of another 30 students simultaneously. 3. Interests. Besides, parents know their children. They know their interests and hobbies, and the best teachers are those who can tap into a student's interest and incorporate them into a lesson. 4. There will be fewer distractions. You're aware of what we're referring to. Do you remember those days in school when the class clown had to make a joke out of everything? Or when the rowdy boys couldn't stop talking while you were trying to concentrate? Or maybe you were the class clown. These distractions detract from a child's learning, but they are far less likely to be a problem for homeschooled students. 5. Test, test, test. The modern obsession with testing in mainstream schools is frequently criticized by homeschooling parents. They believe that schools have been forced, or have chosen, to focus all of their instruction on helping students improve their scores on standardized tests. Homeschooling, on the other hand, allows parents to ignore or shift their focus away from tests and instead teach their children a broader curriculum focused on learning for the sake of learning, curiosity, art, music, nature, play, and personal characteristics such as physical, mental, and emotional development. 6. Social progress. Of course, homeschooling has drawbacks, the most common of which is social development. On a daily basis, children do not have the opportunity to interact with a large number of peers. This limits their ability to learn how to form friendships, deal with bullies, and be exposed to new life experiences, languages, and cultures, as well as new foods. The playground is said to be where the most important lessons are learned at school. How to negotiate, make friends, form relationships, avoid or gravitate towards certain people, develop a unique persona, be assertive, and other interpersonal skills. These lessons can only be learned with siblings if a child is homeschooled. What about the parents? Homeschooling advantages and disadvantages. For parents, homeschooling has both advantages and disadvantages. 1. Professionalism. Is the parent knows about the subject, or how to teach it? Teaching children everything they need to know in order to succeed in life is a difficult task. Primary school teachers must have a fundamental understanding of all subjects, and the ability to pass this on to students, whereas secondary school teachers must be experts in their fields and have the ability to pass on their knowledge and skills to teenagers. Do the parents have sufficient knowledge of each subject and the skills and personality to impart this knowledge to their children on a daily basis? 2. The price. It is possible that homeschooling will be costly. Parents must gather all of the resources necessary to teach their children in a manner that at least resembles a traditional curriculum. Purchasing resources and equipment to enable the child or children to be taught a variety of subjects can be costly. Many parents, on the other hand, have discovered a cost-effective way to homeschool their children. Another aspect of the cost of homeschooling a child is that one parent will be unable to work full-time, if at all, due to their commitment to teaching. The family's budget must account for this loss of income. Furthermore, if the child is required to take standardized exams, they must be completed at a school or an official testing center, and paying for these exams externally can be costly. 3. Maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Work-life balance is a major consideration for any parent considering homeschooling. The home becomes the workplace, but it differs from a home office for someone doing another occupation, architecture, because the children are not involved. The children are the work, the job, and the finished product for a parent-teacher. Finding ways to separate teaching at home from living at home is a major challenge for a parent who is homeschooling their children. 4. Family harmony. In a similar vein, it's important to keep family harmony intact. For both teachers and students, teaching children is stressful, and conflict will inevitably arise. One of the drawbacks of homeschooling is the difficulty of separating the student/teacher relationship from the child/parent relationship, as both are shared in the same space. Families and experts, on the other hand, have found a lot of evidence that homeschooling strengthens family bonds because children and parents spend more quality time together. Parents can more easily see and celebrate their child's academic and personal milestones, and they can grow together. 5. Post-secondary education. In terms of preparing students for tertiary education, parents may not be as well equipped as schools. Students who want to continue their education after graduation are given a lot of qualified advice from teachers and schools, and it can be difficult for parents to give their children the same advice. Finally, but certainly not least, as more parents look into the world of homeschooling, it's important to consider the many benefits and drawbacks of this method of education. Do some soul-searching and have a serious conversation with your partner about whether this is the best option for your child and family. Don't forget to ask your kids what they think about the topic. You can determine if homeschooling is the best option for you and your family by putting everyone's thoughts and feelings on the table. Still, need more information on this topic? Don't worry. We have got you covered. Check out the links in the description box below to learn more about our resources and other helpful materials. Before you go anywhere, make sure to give our video a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel and click on the bell symbol so you don't miss any of our intriguing videos. Stay tuned until next week.